Hey, fourth graders, Mr. Crowell here, and today I am coming to you in Mr. Crowell's backyard. So you'll see some trees right over there. There's some, well, not blue sky, but cloudy sky. It's been raining. You may hear some raindrops, but hey, it's good to be outside, and that's where Mr. Crowell likes to be. So today's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be reading from the screen, hopefully. Mr. Crowell's got it set up, so please be patient. You guys are always patient. You're awesome fourth graders. And today is lesson 6, and that will be for Monday coming up here. And the vocabulary we have for the lesson 6 or on the board is benefits, it is resources, and it is nutrients. So again, if you are in my class, raise your hand. If you're in anybody else's class, raise your hand. If you don't want to raise your hand at all, that's okay. Anyway, we'll stop. We'll talk about each one of these words for our lesson 6. And of course, we have an assignment, and that's on the board, and we'll talk about that when we get to the end. So over here on the side, we've got our book, Chapter 4, and Mr. Crowell, don't do that. And Chapter 4 is called Volcanic Effects, the Good. So I want you to read with me. I want you to follow along, and I want you to track the best way that you can. And when we get to those vocabulary words, we'll stop and talk about them, and so you have a little more knowledge. And we may talk about some other things as we go along. So you guys ready? Let's go. Volcanic Effects, Chapter 4, page 32, by the way. Page 32 is what we're doing, and 32 we will go for till 35. So just a couple of pages today. So we have a little bit of time to talk about some things, and we'll talk about volcanic effects. The good. Though they are sometimes violent and destructive, volcanoes provide many benefits for our planet. Ding, 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 benefits. Benefits, if I could just, come up with the idea of benefits. Benefits is something that helps something. When you have some benefits, you might hear a dog. That's Ruby, my dog. So if you hear some barking, that's Ruby. So she may even come and visit us. So benefits is right here, benefits. And benefits is really something that is an advantage. And when you have the benefit of something, you have the advantage of something, or you have something that helps you. You in this case, the benefits that they provide many benefits. Volcanoes provide advantages, and we're going to talk about those here in the next couple of pages. So benefits is an advantage of something. It's something that we can use, and something that helps us, gives us something extra. Okay, minerals. Many of Earth's most valuable resources are found in volcanic rock. These include minerals such as fluorine, sulfur, zinc, copper, lead, tin, uranium, tungsten, silver, mercury, and gold. Wow, that's a lot of minerals. You know what? I think I saw also, somebody raise your hand, somebody also saw the second. All of our vocabulary words are on this page. It is resources, and resources we see here. There is the handy dandy mouse. There is resources. What is resources? Resources really something that we have, something that is a supply of something. Supply. And when we have resources for something, that means that we've got a supply of them. They are out there, and we can use them. And so these are some minerals that volcanoes kind of create that benefit. There's one of our vocabulary words. And so having resources means that we have something that we can use and something that's created. So there's a lot of minerals right there. We see some examples of there, some great pictures. We see some labels. Each of those which are very important to the things that we can create, things that we make in our world. Fertile soil. Fertile soil. The richest soil is often found in places with volcanic activity. That's because volcanic rock is filled with minerals and nutrients. There's a ding, 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 nutrients that plants need to grow. So what is nutrients, you say, Mr. Crowell? Nutrients is something that we have, is a substance that helps something grow, helps growth. So in this case, soil that's just in our world, things that grow, that has nutrients, and that has something that has little kind of organic molecules and bits and parts that make plants grow. So having nutrients in soil is a key to the things that we grow, that we eat, and the things we find in our grocery stores. So believe it or not, volcanoes help us in that regard. Back to page 32, middle of that last paragraph. In Indonesia, for example, farmers can harvest 3 crops of rice a year in volcanic soil. There you go. Farmers planting in non-volcanic soil harvest much less. And we see a little text box down at the bottom called New Land. Volcanoes also create new land on Earth. Hawaii Island, for example, is constantly growing. So let's go to page 32. Page 32. Geothermal power. 33, actually. Page 33. We were on 32. Geothermal power. Geo means earth and thermal means heat. Geothermal heat is produced in Earth's core and mantle. It heats the rocks and water deep in Earth's crust. People can drill into Earth and use the heated water and steam to produce electricity in power plants. And we see that power plant right there. And we see a little text box down there. It's a geothermal power station in Iceland. As we go down the page here, we see a fact. Reykjavik is the capital of Iceland. The city is more than 100,000 people, is heated almost entirely by geothermal energy. So that's something else that kind of happens due to our volcanic activity. Next page, page 34. The bad. Volcanoes provide many benefits, but they can also cause problems. Unusual weather. In 1815, Mount Tempera erupted in Indonesia. It was the world's biggest volcanic eruption in more than 1,600 years. The next summer, Thomas Jefferson recorded details about the odd weather that the United States was experiencing. The weather was very cold. Snow fell in parts of New England in June. What? They're cold up there, but they don't get snow in June. June doesn't have snow. The entire northern hemisphere experienced what is called the year without a summer. Without warm weather, farmers were unable to harvest a crop that year. Many people suffered as a result. Scientists believe that the volcanic ash from the Tambora eruption caused the year without a summer. The ash blocked out sunlight, which in turn cooled down the earth and changed weather patterns. Very interesting. Bottom of page 34, disrupted air travel. We see a picture here, and then we see a little kind of text box to the left. Volcanoes disrupt air travel. This can cause big problems for the global economy. So if people aren't flying, they can't get places, and then they can't work, and then their money isn't. So the economy has to do with money and transaction and people working. Ash clouds are dangerous for airplanes. Even the smallest particles can cause engine failure if the amount of ash is big enough. And here we see down here we see a text box. We see all these people. They're in an airport, the Frankfurt, Germany airport during the eruption of I can't say that in 2010. Sorry, can't say it. Anyway, but I believe that is the volcano in Iceland. So planes got to fly around it. People had to stop and not go places. So a big pain. Okay, next page. And this would be page 35, which will be the end of our lesson 6. So please stay with me. Everybody with me? Thumbs up. The ugly. So we have the good, the bad. Now we have the ugly. The ugly effects from Fillinian and ultra-Fillinian eruptions don't occur very often. These huge eruptions cause serious damage. Pyroclastic flows. Pyroclastic flows are the most deadly and dangerous parts of volcanic eruptions. These avalanches of death scorch everything in their paths. They cover the ground in thick blanket of gray ash and rocks. Nothing is safe in the path of a pyroclastic flow. Plants, animals, and humans can be killed. And we saw that with Mount St. Helens. If you guys do any research on Mount St. Helens, that blast, that pyroclastic blast, just and a lot of plants and animals, and unfortunately some people did not make that through that eruption. This is a forest example of the forest that we see here that is in Chile that was damaged by a pyroclastic flow in 2008. Lahars, right in the middle. Lahars, volcanic mud flows are common in eruptions. These heavy walls of volcanic mud can carry boulders, trucks, buildings, and even roads and bridges. They just swoop it all down. The amount of water and ice near an erupting volcano affects the size and number of lahars. The bottom of page 35, lava flows. Lava flows create new land, but they also change existing land along their paths. A lava flow can destroy homes and other properties. Boys and girls, thank you for reading with me. That was awesome. That was our short reading for Lesson 6. And let's talk about the assignments we have. In your assignment we have here, we have page 273. 273, of course, would be in the Reader Writer Journal book. 273 would take you to this page, boys and girls. It would be about word analysis. So right here we have a word bank. You are to put the words into, and it says directions. Write the list word that has the opposite or nearly opposite meaning as the word or phrase. So you would want to find the opposite of shout. Down below, directions, write the list word that has the same or nearly the same meaning as the word or phrase. So you want to, number 8 would be beard. You want to find something that is like it or nearly like it. Next one is page 274, response to reading. So it's just the next page, boys and girls, at the very top. I know in my class we do sentences with the words up here. You are welcome to do that if you wish. But the assignment here is to read in response to the reading. Reread page 33 of Anatomy of Volcanic Eruption. Create a graphic organizer to help explain a cause and effect from this section. Then use information from your graphic organizer to explain the cause and effect. So reread page 33. And then the last assignment is page 275. That is writing, which is on just all right in the next pages here. We have writing, very top. Directions, reread page 32 through 35, Anatomy of a Volcanic Eruption. Write several paragraphs explaining the benefits and dangers of volcanic eruptions. So benefits, we talked about those. We also talked about some of the dangers, so the good and the bad, maybe the ugly. Include a diagram with a caption and labels to illustrate the information in your paragraph. Use details from the text to support your answer. So again, if you need more lines here, get a lined piece of paper and use front and back. Boys and girls, that concludes our Lesson 6. Mr. Crowell's trying new technology here, so he'll get it right, and he's working on it, and you guys are so patient to be working with me through this. So I hope that things are good, hope you are safe, and we will see you next time for Lesson 7. All right, boys and girls, we will see you soon.